So we can see that there's obviously a major low, a major level of support around these two zones. So looking at the market structure here, remember from the weekly chart perspective, we're in a downtrend. On the daily chart perspective, we're in a downtrend. So when it comes to daily charts right here, as soon as we do take out this swing low on a closing basis on a daily chart, I would expect that move, that extension back down to around about $30,500 per Bitcoin. Let's have a look at the 4-hour. Let me just make sure that the visibility here does not pull through to the rest of the charts, because obviously we want to keep our charts clean. Okay, and the next range, obviously, as soon as we break this high on the daily chart, we can potentially be looking at this low, this previous support and resistance area to be met to the upside. So we have clearly way more range to the upside here, a lot more opportunity and a lot more money to be made to the upside than the downside. But if on the downside we did take out this low, I would actually expect to move much, much lower, back down to this area right over here. We've got this order block coming in here, and that actually completes the overall range. So we have beautiful range on the daily chart to the upside and the downside. Plenty of opportunity on either side. But right now, we need to keep in mind, the only thing we need to keep in mind is the fact that we're on this support level right now. And this support level has supported price from mid-May. So it's about a month this has been supporting price. So this is a very strong support. If this support is broken, I would expect much more movement to the downside. Let's have a look at the 4-hour chart. I'm going to get the drawing tools in here. So for me, from the 4-hour perspective, we have this support level coming in through here. And if we pull it back, we can actually see that this is more or less lining up with that daily support level that we just spoke about. So we do have that. And the other thing that I do want to mention is the fact that we are taking out this current swing low right here. And our current swing high is right up here. This is where our current swing high is. So from a 4-hour perspective, we've already broken to the downside with volume. So this is looking more and more bearish to me. I'll probably expect a continuation to the downside from this point, all the way back down to around about 31,500-ish, somewhere around there. So we'll keep an eye on what the price is going to do in the next half an hour. Let's have a look at let's just quickly do this. We want to make sure that's only on the 4-hour. Want to make sure that's only on the 4-hour, and we want to make sure that's on the 4-hour. There we go. All right, so let's go down to the hourly chart. Let's see what we can see right over here. Basically the same levels. It's pretty much exactly the same levels that we've been speaking about. We can see this resistance coming in through here. A lot of rejection from here, and then the breakthrough with plenty of volume. So for me right now, like I said, let's look left. We probably do have this clear range all the way back down here on the hourly chart. So what I would want to do is this one spiking up to the top like that already. I want this to come closer to a retest kind of thing. If we can't get a retest, then I'll be looking to take a potential short position as soon as we take out this spike low right over here. Stop loss just above our previous level of structure, and obviously target a move back down towards those levels that we just spoke about on the 4-hour and the daily, because we can see that there's a lot more range still to be filled here. Before we continue maybe to the downside or the upside. But what I would like to see is actually a much bigger retracement to the upside before I want to short this. But I do think this range is going to be filled after today. Let's have a look at the 30-minute here. 30-minute giving us a little bit of a lower range to look at. So perhaps we could potentially manage our risk much better from this area right over here. So let's see if we were to take out the spike low and our stop was to be just above that candle. It's about a 3% risk. So let's have a look. Let's have a look and see. We could potentially put some sell stops right over here for Bitcoin. It's looking very, very bearish in my opinion. But if we do have, if this was a fake out and we do break to the upside here, I would expect that moves to the upside, the range to the upside to be met again, all the way back up to around about $36,000 per Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Ethereum here real quick. Basically the same thing here. I would expect this one to move lower as well. Already breaking those lows, coming back to this potential area of support resistance. So I would say the move on Ethereum's pretty much already happened. I wouldn't expect this one to move any lower or too much lower actually. So like I said, currently looking like we are at that structure highs and lows right now, at a major level of structure of support right here for Ethereum on the weekly chart. So that needs to be kept in mind if we're looking to take any kind of day trades here on Ethereum today. Let's have a look at, okay, yeah, and then obviously we've got this major level of structure right up here. We've got that resistance right up there. Also quite a powerful resistance given the fact that it's created on a weekly chart. Sorry, I'm just going to jump around because I want to see this NASDAQ trade as well in between. Okay, so from the weekly perspective, this one is still in an uptrend. We're still making higher highs, higher lows. We have not created a lower low just yet, but we are starting to take out this low on a weekly time frame. So we do have this bearish momentum to the downside from the weekly chart perspective. So that's something we need to keep in mind. On the daily chart right here, let's just make sure that's going to be daily. On the daily chart right here, we're currently at this level of structure. Also was resistance throughout here. So right now, again, we're on a strong support on the weekly. We're on a strong potential support on the daily chart. So for me, I'm not looking for any short setups on Ethereum right now. I'm actually looking for potential long setups on the lower term time frames. But if we were to break to the downside and we did start seeing short positions, you know, that would be with the overall momentum on the weekly, the overall momentum on the daily. We can see it rolling back down like that. So that's something that I do want to keep in mind for sure with regards to Ethereum. On the 4 hours perspective, we've already taken out our previous support right here. We still have 10 minutes to go for this candle before it closes, but we can pretty much establish that's been taken out. So for me right now, any kind of short opportunities here for Ethereum a little bit higher, back up to around about $2,060. I would enjoy those trades if they were available to us today. So we'll keep an eye on that one. But yeah, the range to the downside here on the 4 hour chart, I'd be targeting a move back down somewhere around there. So still plenty of range on the 4 hour chart. Let's just check the 1 hour chart here. Hourly is giving us a little bit more of a higher range before we can start looking at potential short opportunities. It's actually showing us that it can potentially pull back up all the way down up there. Let's just look at potential targets again on the hourly time frame here. It's actually quite a bit lower. So we could potentially be looking at this area right here as our target on the hourly chart for Ethereum. So you know, I might be taking that back. We might be able to take a nice short here for Ethereum as well to the downside. We could potentially see this range filled. Doesn't look like we've got any trades just yet. Still waiting for those sell stops to trigger. I haven't added the Ethereum one just yet. Bitcoin, however, not seeing that break down as much as I wanted to. Perhaps we can look at a sell up here around the retest of this previous support level. So I'm going to be looking at this one, seeing what it wants to do here. Ethereum, pretty much the same thing. Probably going to be retesting a little bit higher here, looking for this area here to act as resistance, and then potentially take some short positions from there. I'm definitely, my bias is to the downside here for cryptos as established from the daily, weekly charts, right? Yes, we are on some powerful support levels and areas of structure, but I expect this to overall continue to the downside here. Momentum oscillator is looking like it wants to take a bounce. So perhaps, like I said, if we break up inside of this range again, we could easily expect a move to fill all of these clean candles back up to around about $2,252 per Ethereum. So we'll keep an eye on that. Same thing for BTC right here. Could potentially fill this entire range. We do have these impulsive moves to the downside. That's why I'm leaning more towards shorts and sells. These massive impulse moves to the downside. As soon as Asian opened, the Asian session opened last night, and this thing just started dumping. So pre-Asian obviously pumped, so something was happening right here. Potentially a fake out to the upside. We broke some highs, immediately came back down into the range. This was actually a beautiful short opportunity right there. But that was 2 a.m., 3 a.m. this morning. It's looking short here in my opinion. So if we can see some green candles moving higher, and we can see some red candles starting to close inside of this range, I think we'll have an opportunity to take some shorts, like I said. Okay, so still waiting here. This is looking really, really good actually. In fact, we can actually move these sell stops up a little bit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my sell stop as soon as we break this low right over there. Stop loss just above our current candle. And we're going to go for a one-to-one risk reward. So this is going to be our new sell stop right over there. So just make sure that you modify your positions. It's going to be our stop right over there, because if we take out the spike high of this candle, then we know that we are completely on the wrong side of the market. That's going to be our take profit. Ethereum looking for a short here as well, especially looking at our current setups here. Technically speaking, if we wanted to short Ethereum, we could short it from around there. Stop loss right over there. Target all the way down here. So again, this will be our Ethereum level. Cryptos just can't make up their minds at the moment. They kind of want to break down, and then they don't. So we'll just keep an eye on them anyway. If you make 1% consistently every single day, you know, you've got a winning recipe. You don't have to make any more than that. There we go. So Bitcoin starting to break down here, very close to our sell stop. So here's our first crypto trade about to go live as well. And we're going to manage this one manually again. Rolling over like this, starting to break the lows of these previous candles. Higher risk trade would have been to start shorting after this red candle and that rejection right there. And then obviously this is the lower risk trade right now, taking out the spike lows of these two candles, both of these two candles. Looking for a move back down potentially to fill this wick right here, and then we'll reassess from there, right? We'll reassess. So we should be live on our BTC trade right now. Just go and double check. You should be in a short position on Bitcoin right now. And there we go. So again, get ready because we're going to be taking some profits manually here. Ethereum coming down as well, probably going to be triggering us in a very short period of time. So let's just keep this trade, see how this one performs. Actually, this would have been the short right here. This would have been a more aggressive entry, like I've already mentioned. But yeah, we're taking a little bit more of a conservative trade here. I'm more comfortable with it that way. Bitcoin about to hit our stop loss here, so this one's definitely turned around again. Just make sure you're not in any Bitcoin trades at the moment. Just make sure your stop losses were hit. Okay, so NAS in a profit right now. Obviously, our cryptos here has a different idea of where they want to be heading for the day. So that comes back to a higher term analysis, looking at the fact that we could potentially be right here on a major support level. So again, I'm still leaning towards the downside. Looking at the daily chart here for Bitcoin as well, taking out the spike low of this previous candle, I'm still leaning towards the downside. So potentially might give this one another run if the market allows us to. But yeah, that's going to be a loss, our first loss for the week as well. And it just went straight to stop losses. It didn't even, you can delete the Ethereum trade as well. Just make sure, delete all pending orders. We won't be using any of those at the moment. Again, trading is all about patience. And there we go. There the cryptos just dumped, right? That's just how it happens sometimes. Came back up, spiked us out, and then just came straight back into our favor. So that's fine. But for now, I'm going to stay out of this market. It doesn't have any clear direction at the moment, except for down. But obviously, our first trade has not been a successful one. I'd like to take a short position a little bit higher here, if possible. But let's see where this goes. Crypto is really dumping, so these would have been profitable trades right here. Would have taken some profits on those. And that's fine, you know, that's fine. There's going to be some more opportunities throughout the day to take some more trades on the cryptos, maybe during the New York session, like I said. So once we get to this support level right here, there's going to be another opportunity to take potential long positions. So for Bitcoin and Ethereum, you know, I'm not too concerned about either of these. We will get some more trades, like I said. It should not be a problem. It should not be a problem. All right. See, yeah, the crypto is moving back up. This is what I'm talking about. So we're going to be patient now, see what wants to happen here before we take any kind of trades again. Obviously, the market is ripe for screwing around with retail traders today. A wick to the upside, wick to the downside, a lot of indecision right now. But that also creates a brand new, very obvious range here for Bitcoin on the 30-minute. And I feel like this range could play a very powerful part in what we're going to be seeing for the rest of the day here, right? So if we see a break above this area, like I said, we could easily expect a clean move back up to this resistance level right here for Bitcoin. So it looks like we're going to be taking some buys. We're respecting these lows. We're respecting these support levels right through here. So I would expect this to be continuing up instead of down. So Ethereum, same thing here. That's our zone right there on the 30-minute. Any kind of break above this, I would expect the move back up to come and retest this resistance area right over there. All right, so that's what I'm going to be aiming for. Like I said, I'm actually excited that crypto has now not broken down, but actually closed inside of this range again. because this could potentially set us up for some long positions, maybe as high as these levels up here again, once we see these areas being violated.